Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao and this is One News Now. The Appeals Chamber of the International Criminal Court has rejected the bid of the Philippines to suspend its drug war probe. In a decision, the ICC Appeals Chamber cited the lack of persuasive reasons to order the suspension. It also pointed out that local investigations into the war on drugs of former President Rodrigo Duterte can still proceed, while the ICC does its own investigating. Recall that the Office of the Solicitor General filed an appeals brief which sought the reversal of the ICC's decision to resume the probe. The Marcos administration has insisted that the ICC's move is an encroachment on the country's sovereignty. And Pamplona Town Mayor Janice Degamo's petition to expel Negros Oriental Congressman Arnie Teves from the House is now with the Committee on Ethics and Privileges. The widow of slain Governor Roel Degamo wants Teves to be kicked out of the House of Representatives for his alleged involvement in e-gambling, cockfighting, and murder of Negrenses. House's Secretary General Reginald Velasco noted that the Ethics Committee will study the petition while it is on Holy Week break. The panel will reconvene on May 8, when it will also submit its findings and recommendations on the matter. Moving on to another story, it is day 2 of the processing of insurance claims from the oil spill in Oriental Mindoro. But as Mon Gualvez tells us, not a single claimant showed up on the first day of the process.
Residents affected by the massive oil spill in Oriental Mindoro can now start processing claims over the incident. The provincial capital in Calapan City, Oriental Mindoro set up a small room in the ground floor for the processing of claims, but until late afternoon on Monday, no one came. Because of this, the provincial government will be setting up caravans in affected localities so that residents won't have to travel far. Those qualified to claim insurance are residents whose properties were damaged due to the oil spill. Residents who lost their jobs and those who spent money for cleanup are also set to be reimbursed. Claimants can apply as an individual, a corporation, or a business entity. Affected LGUs may also file for application. However, there are still no clear details on how much claimants will actually get. But the insurance company of the sunken oil tanker assured that qualified claimants will be covered. This includes over 20,000 fishermen who still can't go out to sea. According to authorities, they still cannot allow fishing until they are sure that it is safe.
Ang pasihan ng aming pagdesisyon ay ayon din po sa siyensya. Pero kapag nakita po natin na talagang ligtas na rin po naman, wala ng mga bakas ng petrolyo, maging stamp ng isda, magbibigay po kaagad tayo ng rekomendasyon sa lokal na pamahalaan.
The Philippine Coast Guard also wouldn't want to take chances. The PCG said they are fast-tracking the cleanup and that a special equipment to be used for oil extraction will arrive on Thursday. The agency said they're looking to stick to President Bongbong Marcos' target deadline of 4 months for the cleanup. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
Time to take a quick break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Pag-asa sees lower or less rainfall across the country in the coming months. State Weather Bureau forecaster Samuel Duran explains that only the weather system called the easterlies may bring rain showers for now. He did note, though, that the current weather is still under neutral condition ahead of the possible onset of El Nino. Pag-asa warns that the El Nino phenomenon will likely develop in July until September and could persist until 2024. El Nino increases the likelihood of below normal rainfall conditions, which could lead to droughts.
So far po sa ngayon, Ma'am Gretchen, halos easterlies natin kasi ang halos magbibigay ng paulan lamang ay nasa eastern portion ng ating bansa. No, ang ina-expect natin ngayon sa mga susunod na buwan ay yung passage ng tropical cyclone. Pero most likely, kapag napasukan pa tayo ng ridge of high pressure area, mas mababa pa po yung tsansa ng mga pag-ulan. So most likely, hindi masyadong maulan ng mga susunod natin mga araw at buwan.
Over at the Senate, Senator Joel Villanueva has filed a resolution seeking an inquiry on the government's plans to augment the country's water supply. On the other hand, Senator Nancy Binay said that the NWRB, or the National Water Resources Board, should also share its plans with LGUs. For his part, Senator Coco Pimentel warns that they may be compelled to hold hearings if the issue on water is not addressed. Moving on to power, the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, or NGCP, highlighted the importance of standby supply deals in preventing power outages during the dry season. This is after the ERC, or Energy Regulatory Commission, denied the NGCP's request to extend the contract of its ancillary services, which supports the transmission of power from generators to consumers. The NGCP says that while there is enough power to meet demand at the moment, the lack of contracts for ancillary services could affect certain industries through power fluctuations.
So while on paper, there should be no issue kasi there is enough power to meet both supply, demand for consumption, and also yung ancillary services natin. Right now, there's an artificial lack of ancillary services because although it's there, we cannot dispatch it because we have no contractual arrangement.
But one consumer group believes that the NGCP is simply taking advantage of the issue to get its way with the energy regulator.
Gusto nilang i-cover up yung kanilang kakulangan sa kanilang obligation as being the service provider ng grid. Kasi matagal na yan. Now, pinapasa niya yung blame with the ERC and eventually ipapasa niya ang burden ng mas mataas na kuryente dahil dito sa mga outages na ito sa mga consumer.
And here is a quick look at today's other top stories. Maynilad and Manila Water announced water interruptions in some parts of their coverage areas until the end of the month. Maynilad will be refilling water in their reservoirs to prepare for higher demand due to the dry season. On the other hand, Manila Water will conduct maintenance activities in some parts of Rizal and Metro Manila. Pag-asa forecasts hotter days in several parts of the country as the heat index continues to rise. The State Weather Bureau says that the heat index in Davao City could hit 50 degrees Celsius today, while General Santos City could experience up to 48 degrees Celsius in temperature. Pag-asa also sees the heat index rising to dangerous levels in Butuan City, Dagupan, and Subic. And this dry season, one public health expert advises the public to avoid destinations without medical facilities. Dr. Tony Leachon also warns against drinking soda, alcohol, and caffeine, which he says enhances the effects of dehydration. Again, we remind everyone to avoid going directly under the sun and to keep yourselves hydrated. One News Now will be back at 3 p.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.